and clan members, anime fans, and others who stumble upon this video. I'm SoresanCrockxen, and we're doing Infinite Stratos today. Now, this is only gonna cover the first season because I've only watched the first season, plus the OVA that came with the first season. So we're gonna be limited to that. I know nothing about the second season. I know nothing about the OVAs of the second season, so I'm not gonna touch on that stuff. Now, I did watch a review of somebody who made the video, or who watched the whole series before, and then apparently Charles is the main favorite of everybody. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, that's not true with me. I don't follow trends. No, I'm just kidding. So, Infinite Stratos, I was actually surprised after the fact that it's actually a mecha show, because I didn't see it. I always like to do research before I go into a series because I don't want to just go in blindly, which is not always a good thing because that means you know somewhat of what's gonna happen and you're kind of spoiled. But at the same time, to me, I don't spoil myself like that. I usually just look at like looks of the series, like if it looks nice, like if the animation looks okay, and whether the story sounds like could be headed in a good way. Like I only look at the overall synopsis of the show. So I don't look at entire episodes or stuff like that. No, I usually just look at what the story is as close as possible to what the actual story is. So I didn't notice that it was a mecha show, and I usually tend to stay away from those because I haven't had the best experience, we should say, with mechas. For the most part, I usually hate them. I truly hate them. Um, Most of the ones that I have watched in the past, I've only liked one in the past, and that's it was part of the Monogatari series, and it was the Isekai no Sekishin one. That's the only true mecha that I've actually liked in my entire life. So I usually try to stay away from those type of shows because I know that the odds of me liking it are very slim to none. But I'm kind of glad I didn't notice it because it actually is pretty decent. Granted, it's one of those mecha shows that is mixed with harem, so that kind of I don't know. I guess that meshes really good because Isekai no Sekishin was a mecha slash harem show. So I guess if anything, I should start looking at mechas that have some sort of harem incorporated in them, and then maybe I'll like them because those are the only two that I've liked so far. So I don't know. But anyways, so the purpose of the show is you have these machines called IS or Infinite Stratos, basic name of the show, which are it's this exoskeleton which is attached to the human body, and then you're able to there you go. That's basically it. It's not used for warfare, and it's mainly used for sport and research. At least in the first season. So the harem comes in like this. We have Ichigo, who's the main male protagonist, which is a bad thing because Isekai did it way better. I love Kenshi in Isekai because he was actually a boss, legit, he was cool. Isekai, Isekai had that going. Ichigo is freaking retarded. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I didn't like him at all. And then you have 5 kind of going on to 6 females who are part of the whole harem shenanigans. You have Hoki, you have Cecilia, you have what is it, Rin? I think it's her name. I don't remember. And then you have Charlotte, Laura, and then there's this one girl who what's her freaking name? I don't remember her name right now. I think it's Rand or something like that. So it's around 5, close to 6 females that are part of the harem part of the whole thing. So there's this thing that the guy that I watched beforehand said that I actually thought that was weird. They did 2 childhood friend characters. For example, Hoki was friends with Ichika when they were little kids. They used to spar together, and they were in the kendo club, and yada yada yada. But at one point, it was actually Hoki's sister who developed the first IS. So like they had to go into like this witness protection program. So they had to move away, and there was this whole ordeal. So Ichika kind of lost contact with Hoki, and then we got introduced to Rin, who is the other childhood friend, who was friends with him from that point until about like 2 years prior to the beginning of the series, somewhere around there. So that's we have two childhood friend characters who are somewhat for some reason. I mean, Rin makes sense. You know that apparently it could have made sense because they're still technically young, so or they're not that much older than they were when they split up. So that there could have been a crush that had been developed throughout their childhood, and just because of that 2 year gap, like they couldn't do anything. Hoagie's you're little kids. Well, like, what the heck kind of crush can you just keep on going with that since you're freaking 5? I don't know. Cecilia, actually, she was one of my. I actually liked her. I know a lot of people don't, which is weird. I actually had no problem with Cecilia at all. she's 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 a representative of basically the British IS stuff. Um, she was cool. I had no problem with her. The way she liked Ichika was a little weird because it was this whole thing where she thought like she was better than everybody else, and she comes from somewhere else, so you automatically have to like her and all that stuff. And then they had this kind of tournament to choose the class representative. And Ichika almost won, but didn't win. But apparently impressed her enough to where she decided to have a crush on him. Um, Laura and Charlotte are the other, I guess, representatives from other countries. Charlotte is from France and Laura is from Germany. And those were Charlotte. Charlotte's apparently the favorite, and she pretended to be a guy when she showed up. Um, she kind of came to do research on Ichika, and she just pretended to be a boy. So everybody like flipped out. Oh my gosh, there's a second boy. Okay, I should probably address that before I keep on going. Boys can't ride these things. It's legitimately only girls are able to actually use these because it doesn't for some reason connect with boys. So Ichika is like a rare case because of course the main character has to have a rare case, has to be the right case. But anyway, so she pretends to be a boy when she shows up. So everybody flips out. Oh my gosh, there's another boy. And then like there's this whole ordeal between them, and they actually end up having to stay together because they're the only boys now. So Ichika was by himself because he couldn't be with a girl. Like he was with Hoki for a while. Like they lived in the same room, but they eventually had to move him away because you can't have teenage boys and teenage girls in the same room staying together. And then when Charles showed up, since he was a boy, they put him together, and it was this whole ordeal. The way they showed off Charles' gender was really. It was not. It actually was no. Either way, it's still weird. And then Laura, I should definitely talk about her because she was very intriguing. She apparently used to work with Ichika's older sister, who she's a boss. Like by the way, Orimura Sensei, she's a boss. Um, Laura had like such high respect towards her, but something happened, and now she hates Ichika because apparently he took her from him. Or wait, hold on. Ichika took his sister from her, even though they're supposed to be related. So what's the big deal? I don't know. It was really weird. Anyways, so she has this hatred towards Ichika, and then this weird thing happens to where she ends up liking Ichika. All these characters have weird reasons for liking Ichika. Now, Ran, I should definitely mention her real quick because she's not really a character that you see very often. But she's this younger sister of Ichika's, I guess, best friend outside of the school, like just best friend in general. And like she's younger than everybody, so she's gonna go to high school next. I guess would be the next year. So she's younger than everybody else, and she has this huge crush on Ichika. And it's funny because every time that they show her and her brother together, this is this weird old thing, and like they start clashing like brothers would. But Ichigo's so stupid and retarded, and he like, can't tell that the girl has a crush on him. I don't know. He's just dense. I'm just gonna say that straight out. He's just dense. I will say the fights are awesome, so I do wish to continue the season, like to season two. Like mecha fights are normally good, anyways. I just don't like the other stuff that happens. I don't know. Mecha shows and I are really weird. I can sit there and watch a mecha fight, but it's like the other like most of the stuff behind that is just boring as heck. So I usually don't even care. But I will say that the interactions with the females, at least the girls, because forget Ichika, he could go die in a fire. The interactions with the girls were nice because they actually kept the rivalry going between each other. Except for Ran, because like I said, she was like an outside, like she's the other harem girl. Um, so I like the rivalry between them because then they act like they're friends, and then they give themselves chances to show off to Ichika. But if like one of them decides to split up from the group and tries to get a head start, everybody gets pissed at that one girl. So I do love the interactions between the girls. Um, and the fact that they think that like Ichika's sister, like she's like I said, she's a boss, and I'm actually disappointed that they don't show her fighting because she's supposed to, like Ichika's IS is actually belongs to her, not Ichika. I guess he got it because they're related. I don't know. It's weird stuff. But like she says something in like one of the later episodes, which obviously it wasn't supposed to mean a lot, but the girls just took it like, oh my gosh, because Ichika's her younger brother, and she's protective of him, even though she doesn't show it most of the time. But she flat out just says, I'm not gonna let you guys have Ichika. And it was like the weirdest. It was such a slight thing she said, and all the girls just flip out and start calling her like a rival. Like, oh my gosh, we gotta make sure that Orimura Sensei doesn't take Ichika from us. And then, it was really stupid. It really was. It's ridiculous, and they actually did it again in the OVA where they thought it was like awkward how they treat their brother and sister, right? So they really care about each other. They went on this whole oh my gosh, they're like husband and wife stuff, and I was like no, don't go there. And it was just funny. It's funny. I like the girls. The girls, forget Ichika, just focus on the girls because they're hilarious together and all the stuff that happens. I know it's crazy too because the last episode of the season was them fighting against this drone IS that was nobody was apparently it was by itself, and it reminded me so much of a game that I'm currently playing, which I still have. I have to finish it. Where the girls are the main thing in the game. They're considered like special cases. So they work together. They're like, okay, so we got to make sure because each guy was out of commission for like the last two episodes until like nearly half the second half of this last episode. He was like out of commission. And so their girls were like, okay, we got this. We got to do this. We got to go at it together and just take that thing down. So I love the interaction with the girls. I do. That is the main reason why I'm gonna even watch this season two. Because screw Ichika. Like, the dude is retarded. But that's it. I don't know. That's my opinions. Let me know down below what you thought of this. Actually, the whole show. If you watched the whole thing, I've only watched season one. So if you want to talk about season one, go right ahead. But yeah, so leave that stuff down in the comment sections and let me know. Also, don't forget to leave your questions for the Q&A video, which I'm going to be doing soon. And that's going to be it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another video. Later.